Here we go, Manchester United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0. An absolutely dominant display against 10 men Spurs. Man United getting all 3 points. Their 4th win in a row. Finn, RH coaching as well, up the RH with us today. We've been on the watch along, we've watched it. I said it's nice to watch United stress-free, but let's be honest, when it was only 1-0, even though they offered nothing, you were still thinking, oh, what if? But overall,
it wasn't even our best performance under Carrick, I'd say. There were some shaky, slightly nervous moments, even after they went down to 10 men. We definitely needed that second goal, but once we did, we started to play some beautiful football, and you can't ask for much more in terms of the application from the lads. The work ethic was there, and the performance was class, and 4 wins in a row. Let's keep it going.
They offered nothing though. Did they even have a shot on target?
I'm not too sure. We'd have to check that. But I think that 5 or 10 minute spell after we started really well, didn't we? And that 5 or 10 minute they come into it was like, oh, these are coming into it now. But I think ever since then, I think we was very dominant. I think the sending off, it does play a factor into it, but again, you have to play with the cards you dealt with, and the lads, done the job. We've seen it, with the Everton game where it's gone the other way and we've not gone out and done the business. And I think full credit to the lads and the staff. It's great to see things coming together, like the set piece goal and that style and that philosophy. It was just great. Like you said, it was a bit nervy, wasn't it? We needed another one because we've been there before. Once with that goal, everyone's having fun. Bruno's having fun. Casemiro, no look passes, back heels, the Brazilian flair from him. It's just, again, it's a nice time to be a Manchester United fan at the moment.
Well, let's have it right as well. Some of the football we played in that game was incredible, and people will caveat it with it was against 10 men. We've seen us play against 10 men this season, and we've been absolutely useless. Today, it was just a joy to watch, and that first goal, look, people call Arsenal set piece FC, and that's because they get all the big lads surrounding the goalkeepers, and it's just ugly football. That was a beautifully worked set piece, wasn't it?
It was an ethical set piece, I'd say.
I love that ethical set piece.
It was an ethical set
brilliant
piece. I think what you see with Arsenal, a lot of it is just chaos in the box, crowd the 6-yard box, and hope for a ball to fall loose to tap in. It was nothing like that. It was an artistically inspired set piece. Clearly worked straight off the training ground. I think the touch from Mainu over his shoulder was perfectly executed, and then the finish from Mbeumo is really, really lovely. Not a lot of power behind it, but he's just kind of given it the right weight and the right direction on the ball just to find its way into the bottom corner. I think it was a really, really lovely goal, and at that point in the game we definitely deserved to be ahead. So really, really, really happy with how that played out. And you expect Mbeumo to be one of the players who's going to step up in these big games. He's already shown it this season. He's scored against almost every top 6 club in the Premier League. So yeah, really, really happy with that goal.
Mad, isn't it? He almost dribbled in. There wasn't much power on it, but that's because of how good the finish was.
Yeah, I think it was one of them. But the technique's a very difficult technique because it's coming in, it's bobbling in. I think he's just guided it. His head over the ball. He's locked his ankle. He just stroked it in. I think the set piece itself with the movement from Mainu and that one round the corner, that reverse pass, they're quite hard passes to do. So I think in the moment we was like, what's he doing here? Where's he going? Because we're not used to seeing it. But again, it's clearly worked on in the training ground. I know Carrick said at half time that this is something that they've been doing, and Johnny Evans has been taking a bit of a lead on that. So again, it's all coming together. It's great to see.
Some of the stats from the game, by the way: United 65.1% possession on XG, 1.79 for United, 0.49 for Spurs. I don't really know where that 0.49 has come from. We had 23 shots, they had 7. We had 10 on target, they had 1.
Domination.
Look at that. I mean, their goalkeeper made 8 saves. Lammers made 1
Vicario was really fantastic. I think he was the reason that it wasn't 4 or 5-0, to be honest. I think some of the saves he was coming up with, especially from some of the long range efforts, were quite impressive.
I'm struggling to find anything too negative about it, because let's have it right, it was 2-0, but we've absolutely dominated them. But maybe that is a negative in itself, that we absolutely dominated them, just as we dominated City, by the way, but it's only 2-0. Do you not think maybe a game like that should have been 3 or 4 or even 5?
I said it during the watch along. I think that's what separates the top teams to the teams that are very good teams, but like just below it. I think consistency and ruthlessness. We said it when they get chances. We've seen it in Mbeumo in the first 3 minutes when he's should have gone across the keeper. He's hit it over. The keeper's made some fantastic saves, but again, like the performance overall, that calmness. We highlighted Martinez and Maguire. Maguire did a great job on Solanke defensively. Martinez his pass completion, his forward progressive passes. I thought Mainoo was fantastic today. I know Bruno got man of the match. In my opinion, I thought he was quieter than what he usually is, but again, still produces moments, still, got his goal. But overall, there's some great performances in the team. It's great to see.
Who's your man of the match then? Mainoo, yeah.
I would say overall involvement, and Finn will break down the stats because I know he's done that, but his overall involvement was fantastic, and I think him in them in tight areas, he'll have it anywhere and he'll produce moments, and I thought and he deserves a lot of credit. He really does for his performance.
Yeah, I agree. He'd be my man of the match today. I think he was just involved in absolutely everything. And I was saying earlier, he's not often racking up the assists, but he's quite often the pass before the pass.
That's never been his game, though, has it?
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, he got the assist today for the Mbeumo goal off the set piece, but he's always kind of in some way involved in a move. We've seen for Cunha's winners in recent weeks, he's usually the pass before, linking it through, and especially in those tight areas, he's able to kind of play it through pressure so well. And it's the little details in Mainoo's game that really set him apart to other, his peers, his other young midfielders in this league. I think it's so clear that United are a much better team with him in it. So I know we don't want to harp on to the past too much, but the fact that he wasn't in this team for so long it only gets proven to be a mistake more and more as the days go on and as we see him perform so well. And he racked up 75 passes, I think, today, 4 key passes. I think he's really coming into his own, becoming a bit of a kind of metronome, and especially picking up the ball deep in the midfield, being the first one to pick it up off the defence. I just love the way he's playing, and Carrick has clearly instilled that kind of confidence. I think he said pre-game that he hasn't actually given Mainoo much advice. Same with Casemiro. He's kind of just given them the platform to express themselves, learn on the job, and it's clearly working so well. So I just hope to see more of this from Kobbie Mainoo.
Some of your comments that have come in. Hands up for the Panthers says Darwin Award for Christian Romero. Even if he was right about Spurs, was sent off to make an even bigger fool of himself. Like he's attracting drama. Wally of the week. Shmuel6372 says, lads, it's time we really start acknowledging Bruno as the best player in the league. We'll get to that in a sec, because it's another Bruno Fernandes performance where he's come up with a goal and assist. And Coach Sack USMC says, if Šeško ever wonders why am I not starting, I hope they show him that last touch over and over. Horrid decision. Look, right, Šeško, the ball's come into him. He's got no one around him, and he's gone for a first-time header when he's surely got it in him to bring that down and finish it. But is there any leeway for him in that? Do you not think maybe he just thought there was someone with him? If we weren't 2-0 up and it's last kick of the game, do you not think he might have been a bit more?
Nah, I think it's a funny one with him, because again, he come on and the finish was fantastic against Fulham. But again, I don't want to go to the price tag, and I know he's young and he's but as a striker, their instincts, you should know. He's got loads of time there. Bring it down on your chest, stroke it in. No one's around him. He's trying a first-time header. These are your chances as a number 9 and a goal scorer, regardless of whether you come onto the pitch or not. You need to take. And the comment just said there, it's a great finish against Fulham, and he's shown great instinct. But for me, in them areas, he wasn't really involved in the game when he come on. Yeah. So in them moments, you have to take them chances, because he goes another game, another goal, and then his stats start adding up. But overall, I think, I said it again in the game, I would love him just to be more aggressive. He's a big lad, and again, he might be a quiet, friendly fella, but when you cross that white line, you need to be, with his size. If I had his size, I would be absolutely horrible to play against. I'd be arms out, I'd be aggressive. I'll be everything that would be a nightmare to play against. I just feel like he's going through the emotions a little bit, and now I'm not targeting him, and I want him to do really well, but you expect much better from someone who comes with the price tag that he does, and he's a goal scorer. And again, it'd be interesting to hear people's views on that.
Yeah, no, I agree with pretty much what you're saying. I'm a big fan of Šeško. I think he's got kind of all of the tools that you would hope for in a striker in terms of the technicality. I think he's actually got a really good first touch for his size. He's obviously got the physicality, but you're absolutely right that something that can take his game to the next level if he kind of implements this aggression and this urgency into his game, really getting stuck into defenders and being more of a nuisance. Carl Anko, who's a big friend of the channel, has spoken about this a lot, that he just needs to be a bit meaner.
Yeah, 100%.
And obviously he's young and he's learning, and it's the type of thing that will come with time and experience, but it is one of the things that I think can step his game up, because if he's a bit meaner there, if he has the kind of cheek and the arrogance to bring it down on his chest and have an effort there rather than just going for the first time header, I think that can be another goal and would do wonders for his confidence.
What you can say is the things that maybe we're describing that he's not quite done right, the things you can learn, aren't they? And there are things that come from experience.
He's getting in them areas.
Yeah.
The thing is, and again, I don't want to add a bit of something into it, but I'm going to, is like Højlund in that situation. Does Højlund score that?
I don't
do
think
you understand what I mean? But that's a question that you've got to ask. Does he bring it down his chest? Does he score? So you've sort of replaced him for Højlund, but if Højlund's in that situation, that's the question. Does Højlund score that? You don't know, do you?
Let's talk about the goal scorer for the second goal, the talisman for Man United. He's been absolutely unbelievable all season, actually, I think, but particularly since Carrick has come in, since he's been at United. What a player Bruno Fernandes is. No player more worthy of wearing that armband right now, in my opinion. He scored a goal today, and bizarrely, I don't think it was his best game in the world, but that's what Bruno Fernandes does.
That's the nature of Bruno Fernandes. Is even when it's not his day, even when it's not at his best game, he's still going to come up with the goods.
Still going to Rabona crosses.
Yeah, he's producing little special moments where he's just making things happen out of nothing, and he's such a special player. He always wears his heart on his sleeve and really plays for the badge, and that's what you get from him. It was quite a weird finish. If you look at the replay, it basically came off his shin, but somehow still looks controlled and kind of intentional, which is amazing. But wasn't his best game, wasn't his worst game, but still comes away with the goal, and that goal allowed us to breathe finally at that end of the game, and just what a player. I think someone mentioned in the chat, it's time to have a conversation about him being the best player in the league. I think he is, because who's his competition?
It's a very good point. I'm trying to think.
I think maybe
who has that much of an impact.
Maybe Haaland, but outside of his goal scoring, he's limited.
There's not a chance.
No,
I think his output in terms of assists and goals, like you said, Finn. I don't think it wasn't a normal Bruno Fernandes. I think he's played a lot better in results that we've not really gone with us.
Yeah.
Whereas today he was a bit in and out. After his goal, he turned it on after his goal, because like you said, he was breathing. But I think his output and what he brings to Manchester United and that creativity, it's invaluable, and no one does it. So long may that continue.
Is Bruno Fernandes a Man United legend?
It's a tough one.
I've had this debate loads, and people in the comments will be going ballistic here that I'm even bringing this up as a debate, because people are saying, of course he is, there's no question about it. I still think there's a part of me that wants to see him win the league or win the Champions League, and then he's up there. I think stats
wise, if you're going off stats and stats driven, it'll be hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at the players over the years that have been historic with a football club, that have won things that wouldn't necessarily go down as legends, then it's a conversation to be had. But I think certainly stats driven, you would argue very strongly that he is. But it depends how people view a legend. Legend's a massive word to throw around, you know what I mean? So again, he's doing his job, but a legend's it's a big thing to say.
I'm inclined to say he is. I don't want to make you two feel old, but I was 8 the last time Manchester United won a league title.
You are making me feel old.
Yeah, so in terms of my lifetime watching football and actually understanding what's going on, he's certainly the best player that I've watched for Manchester United. And so I think also if you put him in any other Manchester United team, he would certainly not stop United from winning those league titles. So I understand the argument of saying, well, has he won the really, really big honours that other Manchester United legends have? But I think you have to contextualise it in terms of the environment, what's going on around the club, what's going on in the background, and also the kind of effort that he puts in and the passion and the loyalty that he shows despite the club not being in the best place during his tenure.
That's a great point.
And I think you look at that, and I think for me, at least when he retires, whether it's or at least when he leaves United, if it's the end of the season, I think for me he goes down as a legend even without a league title. And he has won things at United, just not the major honours.
It's like there are some players who are without doubt Man United legends that I think Bruno Fernandes is better than.
Not just better than, but also the kind of intangibles in terms of his leadership and passion and things like that. I like
that point about him still being this up for it when we're not doing as well either. Maybe that even puts him up a step in terms of legend status.
What's interesting with that is, Gaz, as well, if when you speak to former players who are legends and they say, could he play in that team? Every single one of them's like, absolutely. Of course, yeah. So again, that's a biggest compliment ever as well for ex-players who are legends to say you're alongside that. So it's a good question, good debate really.
Finally, on Michael Carrick then, 4 wins out of 4. Frank's got his Clippers on charge for Tuesday night. How likely is it for you, based on the way things are going, that he could be the Man United permanent manager?
You're throwing that one to me.
Oh yeah, you're having it first. He's bottled it, Finn.
I'll be open and honest, and I said it before, when he got announced, I thought it should be short term. And again, I would love someone like Luis Enrique, like I said, to come in who's done everything. He's managed fantastic players, and he's also had that ruthless side where if people are not doing it, he commands the dressing room and the lads love him. They'll go above and beyond for him, and he comes out in the media, he protects his players. I think he's everything that a Manchester United manager should be. But if he continues to go on this run and he finishes 2nd, 3rd, 4th, where the club was at before he come in to where it ends, you're going to argue that he's done a fantastic job and the players love him. You can argue against it. I wouldn't be moaning if that happened, but is it the right thing? Only time will tell.
I think it's top 4. You've got to give it to me, but that's just me.
I think I agree. Not necessarily just top 4. I think if we are at the end of the season within 10 points of whoever wins the league title, we get into the top 4. We continue to play good football. The players continue to seem happy, and showing that respect and kind of backing of him. I think you'd be silly not to, unless someone like an Enrique, in terms of a real top of the top kind of pinnacle of management, is available. Unless something like that is available, I think you stick with him, because I think the biggest mistake would be deciding, look, we're not going to make mistakes of the past where we've stuck with an interim manager like with Oli, and then you get someone else in and it all falls apart. Imagine. And the cultural fit's not right, or the tactics aren't right, or the leadership isn't right. I think there's a real risk of that happening. So I think you can't base it on any mistakes of the past. You've got to look at it case by case and say, okay, does he have the credentials? Do we think he's a right fit for all of the same reasons that they'd be hiring a manager from outside? And I think I think there's a big chance of that happening.
I love the way he's carried himself during it. I know he's been a player and he knows what it means to represent the football club, but the way he's carried himself and the way he's shown the love to the players and the look, it's there in it. You can see that they want to play for him. You see that they have that relationship with him. I love how you're seeing on the training pitch how he's implementing his style, his philosophy, but the way he's carried himself is the way a Manchester United manager should carry himself. Even on the match days, he's dressed the part, but he doesn't sit down. He's leading from that side of things. And again, that's something, when you're a footballer, that's what you want to see from your manager. You want to see that they're going above and beyond and working on things to benefit you as well as the football club. So everything he's doing at the moment's amazing. He needs to keep it up.
Yeah, totally agree. Could be 5 in a row come Tuesday night. Boys, it's been a pleasure
today
guys. On the watch along. United winning against Spurs at Old Trafford 2-0. Before we go, tell people where they can catch all your stuff online.
Academy Scoop on Twitter if you're interested, covering the Academy games at United.
Get on there.
RH Elite Coaching, but I've got a podcast now, so it's more than a match. YouTube, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. It means a lot to myself and Damani Mella, so thank you.
Up the RH.
Up the RH. Come on.
Nearly did that in sync then, nearly. Yeah, you can get me online as well at radio_Gaz. We'll catch you very, very shortly on Stretford Paddock, but thank you very much for watching today. See you there.